Hi, Scorpio, or anyone watching for Scorpio. For those of you who are new, my name is Chanel. And for those of you who are returning, thank you for giving me the opportunity to read for you again. This reading is a love reading. It should resonate whenever you find it because it is timeless. And if you're watching for Scorpio, just reverse the roles. So I have shuffled your deck, I've pulled your cards, and this actually looks pretty good. The Temperance reversed is kind of weird, but we'll look into it. So, you guys, you have something new that is being created or presented to you, but I feel like for some reason it's making you really nervous. Now, if this opportunity hasn't come yet, just give it a little bit of time because it is in the works. It's something that I feel like you've been working on for a long time, but you kept hitting all these roadblocks within your connection. Could be because either you deep down were like sabotaging relationships or opportunities, or it could be that you were just working with partners that seem to do that to you. What I like about this is it feels like mentally you've released the need to have to try to fight to be loved or fight for a connection. And I think that that's really good. But what I also find interesting about this is that it's like as soon as you move on in your headspace, right? Maybe you just kind of gave up on love for the time being. You know, if you're dating new people and it seems like everybody is the same, or you're not really meeting people, or you were trying with someone old, there's an energy here of being like, you know what, I'm hitting this dead end, I'm hitting this wall. I need to focus on something else. Maybe now is not the time for love, or maybe the person that I've been pursuing is not the person I need to be with. And so it's like as soon as you move on from this in your headspace, the Chariot in the reverse gets activated, which is crazy because that's literally the universe kind of putting up this like block for you. And you may have been feeling it, right? Where it's like you don't want to keep trying to do something that isn't working. So you focus somewhere else. And then all the time, it's like love, love, love. Like you're getting all these love messages. Maybe you're someone who enjoys watching tarot and all the readings suddenly take a shift when you're looking at titles. And it's like, this is the one. And you're like, what are you talking about? I don't even want to deal with love. Like, where is this one? Right. There's this energy of like love being kind of thrown in your face lately. And I'll tell you why that is. It's actually because this lover's energy has been activated. As soon as you've released that urge to fight for something, to fight for love, or to find that relationship, it's allowed things to move a lot faster. It's allowed doors to open for you that perhaps previously were not open before, when you were like really focusing on like, why isn't this working, or where is my person? And it's almost like the universe is trying to get you back into a space where you want a relationship because that's now available to you. Okay. So kind of interesting energy. It's like perhaps some of you are very schooled in the law of attraction. You understand that when you're very focused on something, it doesn't work out, or maybe that's something you've learned and you've started to apply to your life, because now you have this Ace of Pentacles. You have a decision coming up for you that could lead to a King of Cups. But to get there, you're going to have to go through this Temperance and the reverse energy. Now, for some of you, this is you, right? Where you're just like, I don't feel like I have it to give. And what I'll say about that is that for those of you who feel that way about a relationship right now, I feel as though whoever this King of Cups is that's coming into your life, they're going to be somebody that they don't require you to empty yourself into them, okay? Scorpio, you are a water sign. So this King of Cups very well could be your divine counterpart, right? With the Lovers, King of Cups. This person will be like whole. They'll be healed. They're not going to expect that you do what you've done in the past, right? So whether this is someone old or someone new, this person is not going to come in and like drain all of your energy. Like in the past where I was seeing you're working so hard, things are just not fair. You're not getting the commitment or the relationship that you want. This is somebody that they would go 80% of the way, right? They're not just going to make you sit and spin your wheels trying to get them to just like show up for a date. Now, for those of you that there is a specific person that you're interested in, I feel as though the opportunity is here, but you would have to, like I said, go through this temperance and the reverse energy where you're going to have to really decide if this person is safe for you, right? There's an energy here of someone having attachments outside of you. So that could be someone that's dating other people, connected to an ex, perhaps they struggle with addiction, right? This person, you would have to ascertain whether or not that's over. And I feel like that's part of why you're feeling so hesitant, right? Whoever this next person is that you end up dealing with, whether it is a previous energy or a new person, this really could be someone that you have a long-term relationship with. This is someone that it could go the distance. I feel like you'd be very, very deeply attached emotionally to this person. And so that's part of why your temperance is in the reverse. That could be activating something inside of you, right? I just got out of the feeling of being attached and connected to something that was so disappointing. Do I want to go through this again, right? Especially if it's with someone old. Do you want to do that again when you just disconnected from them and took the time to kind of get your mind right, your heart right? I feel like for this, you're going to have to really dig deep to figure out what you're willing to give to get what you want, right? Because you're not going to be able to just jump into this. You're going to have reservations. You're going to have to check in with yourself, and you're going to have to really think like, am I in a space where I'm ready to try this again? Am I in a space where love is something that I want to give my attention to? But I feel like the universe is not allowing you to pay attention to anything else at this time. And it's crazy because when you were trying to pay attention to love, right, nothing was working out. Now, as far as your opportunity, you have the Three of Pentacles. So again, like I was saying, this has the feeling of being something that could really turn into a long-term commitment if that's what you want. You have an opportunity to see perhaps things about yourself that you were unaware of in the past, right? Because like for as much as you wanted your previous situation to work out and as hard as you worked, is it possible that you had subconsciously chosen a partner that was not going to show up for you based on the way you feel about yourself, right? It's really easy to commit to someone that doesn't want to be committed to. And I'm not trying to like sound harsh, but it's like, if you know that it's not going to go where you want it to go, it's almost easier to stay because then it's like, okay, subconsciously, I'm never going to be stuck. I'm never going to be trapped because this person is never going to come around, right? Consciously, you can look at it like I've done the best I could, but it didn't go anywhere. You get what I'm saying? So you never really lose in the sense of like, I tried really hard. I wanted this. I loved this. I had all of the tools and the materials I needed to make this work. And for whatever reason, my best wasn't good enough. You get what I'm saying? When you have kind of a crappy partner or somebody who's non-committal, you can try and you can try really hard, but you're setting yourself up for failure because you know deep down they're not going to be able to give you what you want, right? And so something that you may want to consider, right, is what do you need to release about yourself, about your beliefs about love, long-term relationships, right? Like, how do you feel if I told you somebody's going to come in and love you like you've never been loved before? Is that exciting? Is that triggering? Is that something that makes you be like, oh my gosh, I need to lose 10 pounds. My money isn't where it should be. I'm not where I need to be, right? Like, how would you feel if I told you you're about to meet your perfect partner? What gets activated inside of you, right? You have an opportunity to get to the bottom of what that is. For some of you, it's a self-esteem thing. For others of you, you just feel like nothing can really work or it gets sabotaged by either the new person, the old person, whatever, or you have a tendency to sabotage. There's a lot of doubt coming from you, Scorpio, right? And I don't think that's because you're just a pessimistic person. I think you've just been through so much that it would be hard to even envision what that would look like, right? Why now? Why, when nothing has worked with people that I've cared about, why would it suddenly work now? I don't believe that, right? So you have an opportunity to get to the bottom of that. it's very possible that you might benefit from doing some kind of like counseling or whatever to get to the bottom of kind of that blockage of the way that you feel about relationships or the way that you feel about even receiving love, right? Sometimes it's easy for us if we've had like a difficult upbringing with this Page of Swords in the reverse. It's easy for us to put ourselves in situations where we need to prove why we should be loved, right? And it's really sad because it's almost like you put yourself in these situations that are so vacant. Like the person isn't there, you're vying for their attention. Every small thing that they give you means so much to you when it's just like a normal thing that someone who loves you should do, right? But when you have kind of those deeper childhood wounds, you have a tendency to align yourself with people who very much reflect back to you kind of that disparity of like, I'm not good enough. I have to prove myself. I have to be satisfied with these small little crumbs of like acknowledgement, right? So you may benefit from looking into some sort of like, even if you don't feel comfortable going to therapy, there's all kinds of really great content on YouTube about like building your self-esteem or like dynamics of a healthy relationship, right? For some of us, myself included, that wasn't modeled to us as children, you know? So we don't know, like, as adults, what a healthy relationship looks like. And oftentimes that can be a setup for failure, right? Let's take a look at your opportunity as far as your person. All right. This is interesting. So for a lot of you, and I don't want you to be upset with me, some of you will be happy about this. I think that you have a huge opportunity to look at someone that you dealt with in the past, okay? Could be a fellow water sign, could be a Gemini, could be a Cancer, could be a Sagittarius, but you actually have an opportunity, or it could be a Virgo too. You have an opportunity to figure out what about the dynamic in your previous situation with this old person wasn't working. I like this because it feels like you're in a different place now. You've gained a lot of wisdom since last time you dealt with whoever this is for this old person. And it feels like you have kind of a vantage point where you'd be looking down at the situation with a bird's eye view, right? If anything, this could be something with the old person where you're able to see, like, okay, this much of our problem was me. That much of our problem was them, right? In the time you've been separated from whoever this is, I feel like you've taken care of whatever the problem was that you had to the point that this could actually move forward. Not because you were the issue, but because now that you see what you need to see, you're able to not allow this person to like bring toxicity into your life. I almost am picking up on the feeling, and I don't know why, but that this person is like the person that you've dealt with in the past, and the cards are kind of confirming this. They're like a squirrely person, okay? You wouldn't know this, but this person that you used to deal with, they actually wanted you to call them out on their crap, right? So it's like they wanted you to impose some kind of like boundary. They wanted you to tell them, I'm not dealing with like your bad behavior. For some reason, the person that you're dealing with, it's like they wanted the emperor. They wanted you to, rather than like love them through it or counsel them, they wanted you to show up in a way that was like, this is ridiculous. This is absurd. Nobody would put up with this in their right mind. Something's wrong with you. You need to get your life together, right? So if you've taken time apart from this person, I think that you actually did kind of set that boundary in a way that they were craving. I don't know if this person like benefits from negative reinforcement rather than positive reinforcement, but maybe that goes to like love languages, right? Like if you grew up in a home where you weren't validated, you could have tried to validate your partner, but deep down they felt like they were screwing up, right? So for them, your validation just repelled them because it didn't match the way that they felt about themselves. and it made them uncomfortable, right? So they left. When you were like, you know what, never again, I'm not going, you're full of crap, leave me alone, your voice to them matched their internal voice about themselves. And for whatever reason, it was like a switch kind of flipped inside of them. That's what they needed, was to be mirrored like back what they felt about themselves. You know, maybe this person is very attractive and they have a tendency to be able to sway people to kind of put up with their shenanigans, right? Or maybe with this temperance in the reverse, people walk on eggshells around this person because maybe they're an addict and they don't want to send them to the bar by criticizing them. But that's almost what your person has been craving, is someone that'll be like, you're full of shit and I deserve better and I'm not dealing with this. And it feels like when you did that, right, whatever your reason was for stepping back from this, maybe you were just like, I can't focus on this, or this is tearing me apart, or whatever, that gave them enough of like the feeling of rejection that they needed. This person is like, it's like somebody who gets off on like being treated badly, you know, and maybe that's why you attracted this person into your space in the past, because of that childhood dynamic I saw where you're more comfortable with people who are not so ready to validate you or love you. They give you little pieces of, you know, what you should be getting. This person, it was like you were too intense for them in a positive way. You were too focused on all of the good in them, and that like did something to them that made them feel like, I don't know. I don't know if this person felt like a fraud. There is something here where they needed to get away from you because you loved them too much and they didn't love themselves, right? And so the opposite of that is trying to love someone so much because you don't love yourself that they'll love you, and then in turn that'll fill you up. So it's very possible that after you did that and that switch kind of activated, this person has been trying to get to the bottom of what their stuff is, right? It's almost like they went within and started working on themselves. But what's weird to me is like, I feel like this person probably had a lot of, I don't know if this is friends that were like all like them, or like exes that were like them. Maybe they were addicts, or they were just like kind of bad people. And it's almost like when you turned your attention away from them, they started looking at their own social circle. They started trying to see if that was where they wanted to be forever. And I think that it hit them different when you stopped dealing with them, because they started looking at their life and they're like, this isn't the life I want for myself. Which is weird, because I feel like in the past, when you were dealing with whoever this is, they were very dead set on things staying the same. You know, I guess nothing changes until something changes. What changed was you and your perspective on whoever this person is. When I'm looking at your obstacle, you got the Page of Cups. So let's clarify that. Knight of Cups reversed. Wow, Knight of Swords in the upright. King of Cups again. Yeah, you guys have a relationship coming in for you. You can take it or leave it. It really is up to you. But I think, unfortunately, for those of you who are like, I want new love, there's going to be something about the new partners that you attract that you'll scrutinize them in a way that it's like, either it looks like what you've seen before, and that's the universe's way of trying to get you to go back and look at this old situation because it's being repeated to you in new people. And it's kind of like, okay, if I'm going to do this all over again with someone new, I could just stay where I am with someone old. Or you feel as though nobody is like piquing your emotional interest. You're not feeling connected to new people that you're meeting. Now, as far as your old person, your obstacle is that this person has been such a lying, manipulative, miserable person. And I think they use guilt trips on you, right? So it would be very hard to discern whether or not they're being genuine in this offer. Is this something that they really have changed? Have they seen the error of their ways? What are they doing about it? Especially because I feel like if you have a tendency to check on this person, right, it doesn't look like anything has changed. they're actually keeping everything to themselves in a way that, say you check their social media feed, whatever they're on or something, right? It looks identical to what you always seen. So you don't know that any of this is happening, right? You don't know that behind the scenes, this person is like wanting to move different or has made the decision to move different, because their outside life does not reflect that at all. And I think that it's going to be hard for you, because if this person is trying to be in your space and you're looking for evidence to show, like, okay, they're moving different, you're not going to see it, right? They haven't, for some reason, it's like they haven't unveiled this new life yet. I'm kind of picking up on them wanting to show it to you first for your approval. This is such a strange person that you're dealing with. It's almost like if you disapprove of it, they won't launch it. They'll go back to the drawing board, maybe ignore you some more until they've hashed out their plan. But what's so strange is, like, in the meantime, this person is not making any like external changes in their life. So I don't really know how they think that they're gonna move from like 1 to 100 without taking any steps in between. But it's almost like this person, they kind of have the feeling that like they could be better whenever they wanted to. They just need to like make the choice, right? And so if you're not on board with what they're choosing, or like, hey, this is my design for my new life, if you still reject them, the energy is like, oh, okay, well then I'm just going to go back and think and do nothing, right? It's really weird. I think you'd be really surprised to find out this person actually looks up to you in some form or fashion. Like they want your approval, maybe because you took it away from them, but they want you to almost like look over their life plan before they activate it. They want you to be a part of it. But I just think it's strange that this person needs like an authority figure. They crave authority. They crave somebody to like tell them yes, no, but they don't want an emotional person. Like, this is somebody I feel like they'll open up to you emotionally when you start closing down emotionally. Maybe the two of you are very similar in the sense that like you wanted to love this person so that they would love you back and then kind of fill you up. I don't think that's where you are now, but I think when you met them, that's where you were. And this person wanted the same thing, right? They wanted to be able to love someone, to gain the respect, to gain the love in return, right? And it was like when you were willing to give it all, that made them uncomfortable because they didn't feel like they worked for it. They didn't feel like they were in a space to accept it because there was no quest. Like they were supposed to be able to have to prove to you by changing their ways or becoming something bigger than they were. Like this person wanted you to like sit there and tell them how bad they were and how much they sucked so that they could keep trying and trying until they felt satisfied with the person they became. This is weird. Maybe this is somebody who like had a parent that was like very, very loving no matter what they did. And so it's almost like they lost respect for that parent because the attitude is like, are you serious? Like, you don't see how high I am right now? Or, you don't care if I go to school, or you don't care if I, you just love me no matter what. Like, what's wrong with you? I'm a screw up. And so there's like some kind of animosity towards that person in their life that did that to them, because they feel like they would have been a better person if they would have had more structure or guidance, right? And so they are looking for that in a partner, right? And I think that this person, you might have encountered that they have a tendency to just have bad behavior, right? Like they're like a bad kid. Like, man, why'd you do that? That doesn't even make sense. Like, why would you go do that thing that you just did? It's like, what were you thinking, right? They're doing it on purpose. Like they want to be scolded. Maybe they had a parent that was just like at work all the time, and so they had to act out to feel noticed, right? They feel uncomfortable with just like being accepted for who they are. They want to be criticized. They want to be, kind of parented or told what to do. I don't know if that's your jam or not, right? That might be something that's like your obstacles, Page of Cups. That's kind of immature. You know what I mean? And it looks like King of Cups is on one side. We got Page of Cups on the other. So you're a fully self-actualized human being who's done the work on yourself, and you're prepared for a loving relationship. This old person kind of seems like they need help. They want guidance. They want you to parent them, and so is that something you're into? I don't know, right? 9 of Cups in the reverse for something to consider. So let's take a look at that. I think, Scorpio, for you, something you might want to think about is that what you want has changed. And I'm seeing that very clearly. There was a time when you really, really wanted this. But I feel like now that you've grown so much, I don't think that even if you were in this person's space, that they can be or that they are what you want right now, right? There's kind of an energy of missing this person sometimes, which is totally normal if you spent a lot of time with them. Feeling as though something could have worked out different. And I feel like with that feeling, I want you to understand that everything worked out the way that it was supposed to, because you were willing to get to the bottom of your stuff, whereas this person was not, right? It's almost like being criticized as this person's kink because they don't want to like dig deep and find the motivation to do it themselves, right? They need somebody like riding their ass. That's what they get off on. Is that what you want for yourself? You know what I mean? Let's take a look at your advice again, because I want to kind of explore the opportunity as far as something new, because I'm seeing that you're having a really hard time probably meeting someone new or allowing yourself to open up to someone new. It's looking like the universe wants you to see the old relationship for what it was. This was really just a way to show you like where you needed to find fortitude within your foundation, right? The things that this person was doing, in some way it was meant to show you your own your own hangups, your own toxicity, right? Did you lack in setting boundaries? So you attracted a partner that needed a figure of authority because they would just do anything until you finally had enough, right? This person was getting you ready for your next relationship. And I think maybe if you could see it as that, right, rather than thinking like I lost the one, it's more like, okay, this was a lesson for me and now I'm stronger because of it. And I can thank this person for what they taught me. But that doesn't mean that I need to sign up to be with this forever, right? Because there's an energy of you having to walk away from something that at one time held a lot of value to you to be able to find what you want, right? And that's what I was saying. You have to go back to that. What am I willing to give to get what I want? Are you willing to give up limiting beliefs that perhaps have kept you safe or given you like a false sense of security? And then now suddenly you're so vulnerable because you're not relying on those attitudes of like, it's not going to work, right? Sometimes it's a comforting feeling, as odd as that sounds, right? I feel like you're going to have more than one offer. You got Page of Cups, Page of Cups. I think as soon as you turn this person down, kind of once and for all, there's another offer coming in. Now, is it from the same person? I don't know. I do think this person would try to give you like a crappy offer first just to test your boundaries. Because like I said, they seem to get off on like being told no. And so for them, it'd be really disappointing if you were like, oh, sure, I'll accept this invitation, to spend time with you after you've ignored me for 6 months or you left me on red for 2 weeks, right? It's almost like this person would test the waters with something crappy. And then when you don't take it, they give you something better. But I also feel like the universe is conspiring in other areas of your life to bring you something different, right? The hard part is that maybe you're just not open to it or you're not willing to look for it because there's that doubt, right? There's that feeling that I'm seeing all through this reading of like maybe having lost the one or feeling a lot of regret about the way things happened, that maybe this didn't turn into the commitment you wanted. And it's hard. It is hard to walk away from something that it feels like you've put a lot of time and energy into. You had a lot of high hopes for, right? Let's see about anybody new, what's going on. I keep seeing like that's the problem. You're still kind of holding on to this past person. So, maybe you feel like this is just who you're supposed to be with. And that is okay too. because here you are with the 10 of Wands and the 3 of Pentacles. I think for a lot of you, you really love whoever this is. And it's hard to imagine a life without them, or it's hard to imagine yourself with someone different because they have qualities that, you know, just resonate with your soul, right? More power to you. This could be like a twin flame dynamic where you always feel that pull to this person, or you don't see the value in starting something new right now because you just see it as a burden. I feel like for those of you that are like die hard, this is my person, this is what I want, don't accept anything that's beneath you, right? If this person offers you something and it's like, I wouldn't tell my friends about this offer, I wouldn't be excited about this offer, don't take it. Okay. It's just that simple, right? Because then they'll come back with a better offer, you know, and it's not better by miles. It's going to take, I think it would take a long time of you shutting this person down for them to like graduate to a better offer. Because like your first offer is a Page of Cups with a fish in the cup. Your next offer is a Page of Cups with a bouquet of flowers instead of a fish, right? So it's still very minimal, but it gets a little better, you know, and I think this is a huge lesson for you guys, because if you were in a parental situation where your parent treated you, you know, like little breadcrumbs of love, that's what this person will do. They'll start with, you know, here's this crumb. Oh, you don't like this? Okay, here's 2 crumbs. Oh, you don't like that? Here's 3. So you have to keep being like, absolutely not, absolutely not. I want the whole freaking loaf. I want the bakery. Like, you need to get out of here with this, right? It's almost like the lesson from your childhood, right? Or that feeling that you've carried from your childhood. It's deeper than just this relationship. This is your whole culmination of like everything that you've been through, learning how to not settle for crap, right? Learning how to assert your boundary in the sense of like, that might be where you live and that might be where you're at and all you have to give me, but I deserve better. And it's not my job to help you be better. It's not my job to wait for you to learn better. I'm not doing this, right? Whatever you weren't able to say to that person in your life growing up that made you feel that way, it's almost like the universe has brought you a situation where you have to say that now. You have to say that to this person. And once that happens, right, you will have completely finished out that lifelong lesson that you've been dealing with. You know, your perspective about life will change. The way you feel about yourself will change. Your relationships will change. Because when I was cutting the deck and looking at it, this person came into your life as the world, right? They came into your life to literally change everything about you and to almost give you the closure you need in every situation that you haven't had it in by learning this lesson with this person. Okay. So a very, very big energy, right? Maybe that's why if you're trying to move on to something new, you're not being attracted to new things, or new people are very reminiscent of someone you've seen in the past, because this is a lesson that is coming back around for you, right? So the universe will either use the old person to do it or they'll use new people to do it, but the dynamic will still be the same until you like kind of test out, or you show your skills of like, this is what I've learned. This is what I've been working on. I've passed this test, right? And then once you pass that test, this lover's energy can be activated in a different way, right? A decision can be made. This chariot can move forward and you can move on to like a relationship with somebody that's stable and solid. All right, guys. I didn't see a whole lot for new. I tried my damnedest for those of you that are like, I don't want to deal with my old person. Hey, I'm just a messenger. I did try, but I will take it over to the extended reading and take a look at the old person so that we can see, like, are they gonna get to this King of Cups anytime soon? Or is this just gonna be something that like you have to keep waiting for, right? And you don't have to wait, right? But it kind of feels like this is where you're at right now. So that's what we're going to read for, is this person. All right. Extended reading preview is after this. Going to take a look at their feelings, their thoughts, future actions, all kinds of stuff. So join me over there. The link is in the description box. Hi there, and thank you so much for joining me for our extended Scorpio love reading. So bottom of your person's deck, the Magician in the reverse, 2 of Wands reverse, 8 of Cups reverse. Oh my goodness. So right now your person is being a jerk. They're being super manipulative, right? If there's anything that I feel like you told this person you find upsetting, they're doing it. They're trying to do it. That's exactly why when you're looking at their social media, if you're looking at their social media, you're seeing a lot of what you've seen in the past that you've told them annoys you. It's like this person is trying to piss you off to the point that you feel inspired to come in and speak your piece or be like, hey, you know what? This is unacceptable behavior, or I messaged you and you didn't reply, or what's your problem, right? They want you to do that. Because like I said, this is somebody who feels the need to have authority in their life. So they're actually trying to upset you. At this time in the future, whenever you're viewing this, don't be surprised. If this person isn't taking a whole lot of action towards you in this moment, because they're wanting you to like.